Hi, my name is John Culpepper. I'm one of the co-founders of Compost for Good.
I'm Katie Culpepper. I'm one of the other co-founders with our partner Jen Perry. Compost for Good is a project of 80K Action, and we are working towards promoting community-scale composting around the Adirondacks and beyond.
So what we are interested in as Compost for Good is helping people understand that waste is not really waste. It's just a resource that isn't necessarily being utilized properly. So we are interested in helping people upcycle their food scraps and any other organics that they happen to have available to them.
We're here today at the North Country School and Camp Treetops campus, where we have a community-scale composter. This is one of the design that Compost for Good came up with. There are 3 others in the Adirondacks and 1 in New Jersey of this design. Today we are going to give you a little virtual tour of how this composter works and also kind of how it came to be. And John's going to tell us about that.
About 6 years ago, we applied for a grant to design and build this composter. We applied through ANCA, the Adirondack North Country Association, and we landed a grant from the state of New York, from NYSERDA, that's the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority. And I said to them through the grant that I think I could design and build a composter, in-vessel composter, capable of processing up to 50,000 pounds of food waste per year, with a material cost of about $15,000. The goal was to design this thing so that others could build it. So this design exists on our website that we'll share with you at the end of this video, and it's free and available to the world along with an operating manual. And the idea is that others will take this idea, take this design, they'll modify it to meet their needs, and hopefully before too long we'll have lots of these in-vessel composters. At Compost for Good, we believe that all kind of composting is good, from backyard composting to community scale to industrial commercial. The unit behind me is what we call an in-vessel composter, and in-vessel units are really good for community scale because they optimize the environmental conditions for the microbes that do all of the work, that turn the yuckiest food scraps imaginable into what we're going to show you here in just a second, beautiful black gold. So the pile right here is food waste and a carbon bulking material, carbon source, happens to be sawdust in this case. This is material that has gone through the drum, been deposited on the end of the drum, been run through a small trommel and put in this bay. So what's going on in the drum is primary decomposition, and in our case, in the case of North Country School Camp Treetops, that primary decomposition takes anywhere from 18 days to up to a couple of months, and it depends on how much is loaded into the composter each day. So through the drum, primary decomposition, organic matter, stabilized organic matter comes out. We sift that through a trommel, and that's what you're looking at here. So this pile right here is going through secondary decomposition, so there's still food for the microbes in here, for the bacteria and bacteria-like microbes in here, but that food is being consumed, so still a fair bit of heat is being generated here, but the pile will cool down fairly soon, within a week or so, and then the real magic starts. The higher order organisms begin to take over. Fungi and larger microbes take over and take those large organic compounds and break them down into the organic acids that are so important in what gives compost its power, its magic, so to speak. So I like to start by showing people what we're after here. This is the compost that we're after, and it very much resembles what you would buy commercially in a 40-pound bag at your local garden center.
All right, so now we're in Bay 1. We were in Bay 2 of the compost facility. Now we're going to talk about how the process works. This is at North Country School and Camp Treetops, so normally all of this that I'm about to do is done by young people, by campers or students, but I'm going to give it a shot today. Right here are our buckets. These come down from our dining rooms. In the dining rooms and kitchens, all of our community is separating food waste from garbage, and they're going into these buckets. Right now we have pigs, so some of that food is being taken out, but compost comes down here every evening. Campers are bringing food waste down in these buckets. Today we've got, looks like a lot of scrambled eggs and watermelon rinds. So we're going to go through, I'll show you the process of how we turn this, get it in there, and make compost. So we start out by weighing our food scraps. We do this for a couple of reasons. One, we want really good data for how much we're adding to the composter every day. The other reason is that we need to know how much carbon bulking material to add to it. So once we get our weights, we record them and then we do a little math. Right now, with this carbon material that we're using, we're doing a 1/4 pound to every 1 pound of food waste. This material that we're using is compressed wood pellets, just like you would use to burn in a pellet stove. This works really well for us, but the carbon source that you use at your facility could be whatever you have access to. Recipe would change a little bit depending on what you're using, but this is working well for us. Okay, next up we're going to add in our wood pellets. These were weighed out well. Make sure I got them all. And then I'm going to do a quick blend to make sure that they're mixed well. And then we'll shovel it all back into the bucket to be loaded into the composter. Okay, so now we're up at the top of the stairs looking at the front of the composter. This is the loading end door. We're just up from where I was working before. Before we add in our material, we're going to take a temperature. We're actually going to take in 2 different spots so that we get really accurate data. This is good for us to keep an eye on how effective our composting is going. We're looking for high temperatures, which lets us know that our microbes are really happy. We're looking at about 130 or so as our target range. So we'll give that a second to get up to temperature, and we'll record that every day before we add in our compost material. We record the temperatures and then we'll add in our compost. All right, so we have a momentary switch here that I'm going to press down. This is so that it's only spinning when there is an adult supervising, making sure that there are no children in the way.
The drum is on an angle so that every time we rotate the drum, the material walks its way downhill. That's how it goes from the loading door in, Katie showed you just a moment ago, to the discharge in. Again, it takes anywhere from 18 days to a month or 2, depending upon how much we're putting in there each day. You want to keep that drum 1/2 full all the time, not less than half, not more than half. And so the retention time, the amount of time that it takes for the material to move through, depends entirely on how much we're using.
After the material comes out of the discharge end where John just was, we will sift it before it goes into secondary decomposition. This is a trommel, an electric trommel. It spins with the material inside. Finer material will be sifted out here and larger material will come out the other end. The larger material comes out this end and will go back in, will be chopped up and go back into the composter to do another round of primary decomposition, where the finer material will be ready to go into the middle bay to enter into secondary decomposition. Thank you so much for joining us on this virtual tour. We hope you found it useful and informative.
And if you want to know more about this in-vessel composter design or its operation, you can find that on our website. Additionally, you can find us on Facebook And if you want to reach out to us, the contact information is on our website. We'd be delighted to talk with you if you're interested in upcycling your organics. So thanks very much, and until next time.
Thank you.